All right, so yesterday we were talking about the length of the chords. I mean, what a chord is. When we said that a chord, it's a segment such that both endpoints, you see this point and this endpoint are touching the circle. And we talked about that the chord gets cut in half by a diameter or part of a diameter. Now here, I'm going to have two chords. None of them are diameters. So I'm not going to say the chords are going to get cut in half. As you can see, one side is 7, the other one is 16. So definitely was not cut in half. The way we're going to solve these, when two chords meet inside and none of them is a diameter, I'm going to say this one, the one made with 8 and x, this chord, I'm going to multiply those two numbers, 8 times x. And it's going to be equal to, I notice the other chord is made by the numbers 7 and 16th, so I'm going to multiply those numbers, 7 times 16th. So you multiplied the two numbers that make each chord. Once again, one of them was made by the numbers 8 and x, so we multiply 8 and x. The other chord is made by the numbers 7 and 16, so we multiply those two. So 8 times x gives me 8x. 7 times 16 gives me 112. Divide both sides by 8, and then gives me 14. So x equals 14. That's it. Now looking at another example. Now here, my one of my chords, the difference between this example and the previous example is that I have x's on two sides. So one of my chords, I can see it's made by the numbers 2x and 9. So I'm going to multiply those two, 2x times 9. The other chord is made by the numbers x plus 8 and 10. So I'm going to have 10 and x plus 8 because I'm going to multiply those two. So I notice that 2x times 9, that's 18x. Now here, because I have a plus or minus inside the parentheses, in this case a plus, I'm going to remember distributive property. So I'm going to distribute the 10 to the inside. So I have 10x plus 80. So now I'm going to separate them to the equal sign. I see x's on both sides. I'm going to get rid of the 10x as a minus 10x. So I have that 8x equals 80. So we can agree that x must be equal to 10. So I'm doing the same thing, multiply the two numbers that make a chord, but the only difference is that you're going to have x's in more than one part. Now, to finish this, my last example here, it says find the measure of the line segment indicated. Assume that the lines which appear tangent are tangent. So we need to find out how much is fs. So between f and s, I see 2 plus x. So solve for x, I want to know how much 2 plus x is. So if I look at one of my segments, it's made by Ford and 2 plus x. So I have Ford times 2 plus x. My other chord is made by the numbers 6 and 6. So I'm going to go 6 times 6. So once again, on here, on this parentheses, because there's a plus or minus in between it, I'm doing distributive property. So I have 8 plus 4x equals, in this case, 6 times 6, I'm going to call that 36. I'm going to get rid of the 8 as a minus 8. So I have that 4x equals 28. Divide both sides by 4. X will be 7. But once again, here we want to know how much is fs. So between f and s, I see 2 plus x. So I'm not looking for what's the value of x. I'm looking for what's the value of 2 plus x. So I'm going to call this 9. I know what x is, so make sure you substitute it back in there. All right. Good luck on your homework.